Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's reading is What is the Gossip on You? You could have like a certain environment in place, a certain group of people, or a certain person in your mind before you pick the group, or it could be in general. But we do have three groups for you to choose from: group one, two, and three. If you do need to pause the video so you can take more time to choose your group, feel free, but I will see you in your readings. Hi, welcome. If you've chosen the first group, then this reading could be for you. What is the gossip on you? All right. So we have the Two of Swords upright, the Moon upright, and the Knight of Wands upright. Sorry about the noise in the background, by the way, guys, if you can hear it. Okay, so it feels like people are talking about someone being indecisive about you and about this person being confused by your actions or your intentions, maybe some of the things that you said to them, and generally just finding you quite confusing. But it also feels like this is like a specific person saying this to other people, not that a lot of people have this perspective on you. The person that is confused by you, though, could be someone maybe that you're not very close to or not close to anymore, someone you don't really talk to, or someone you could be more aware of. But people are talking about someone basically talking about you and what this other person has to say about you. Um, but in regards to this other person possibly talking about you, it feels like these other people are saying that you seem to be kind of minding your own business and doing your own thing, not really being involved in drama or any conflicting situations, or not being involved in anything that you consider a waste of time, not your business, or insignificant, and people talk about you not being able to think clearly when you are around someone, maybe when someone's avoiding you or not treating you right, or when you're not on good terms with someone, not speaking with someone, or someone not speaking to you, or something else along those lines. But when there is that kind of situation going on, people do talk about you feeling, just not being as clear or as what's the right word, or as level headed as you usually are. So, yeah, the gossip on you is that you might be torn between two different areas of your life. Maybe that one area of your life is kind of overtaking the other. And people are also talking about you potentially avoiding conflict or trying to avoid conflict. And this could be generally, like, they could see you as someone who generally tries to avoid conflict, but this could also be related to a specific situation or a specific person. People do talk about you maybe avoiding emotions, or you're just not very emotional in general, or it could be at the moment. They also mention that you don't seem very, sensitive, that you possibly just don't wear your heart on your sleeves like that. Maybe you're not super vulnerable, and maybe that you're not very good with people who are really vulnerable or really sensitive, or maybe you kind of avoid it, or maybe you feel uncomfortable in those kind of situations. But yeah, people also talk about you possibly avoiding things that make you anxious, stress you out, or again, like this could be at the moment or in general. People also gossip about someone wanting to control you, maybe wanting to have you to themselves, like wanting to tangle you up in their lives or kind of rope you in some way. But they could feel like this is something that's kind of like an ongoing process, like something that hasn't happened yet, but they feel like it's happening now, if that makes sense. But yeah, people talk about you not trusting someone in your life, that this person doesn't have good intentions towards you. So they could talk about you, not you specifically not trusting this person, but other people could talk about someone in your life and them not trusting this other person's intentions towards you, you know, and talking about someone being quite secretive with you. And this could be another person, it could be related to the same person. For some of you, people do talk about you being spiritual, or you thinking that you are psychic or something else along those lines. But the reason why they say think instead of feeling like you are psychic is because maybe these people don't necessarily believe in stuff like that. So yeah, people talk about you, I know I said this already, but you avoiding your emotions and you maybe just being more logical or trying to be more logical and rational as well. So people do talk about you being quite an intense person. For some reason, people could talk about your mental health. But it feels like for some reason some people could talk about your mental health in a negative way, but it's not like they see your mental health being like in a bad place or anything like that. So I don't know, take that message if it makes sense. Like the people talking about your mental health may not believe in mental health, if that makes sense. But yeah, people also talk about you wanting love, possibly wanting a family, but they also say that someone may not be ready to commit to you in the way that you want. This could be someone that you're currently seeing or someone that you're currently interested in. People also talk about your career, your job, that you're quite ambitious and focused when it comes to your work. And people also talk about you being fun or wanting more fun and adventure in your life. People also gossip about you being quite youthful. Maybe, let me see, maybe having a lot of energy or wanting more energy so you can do the stuff that you want to do. But yeah, people talk about how you've changed a lot in their opinion, that you seem like a different person. But this is more in terms of your character than like physical appearance. People talk about you having appeal as well, about you being quite sexy. And some people talk about you possibly chasing people or chasing someone. And people also talk about you possibly liking a good challenge. That they talk about you being, courageous and rebellious as well. Oh yeah. So we also have get out of your head. Yeah, so we have get out of your head. We also have make better choices. We have easy does it. Your health, happiness, and abundance require a gentle approach. We also have church, temple, mosque. Recognize your spiritual authority. And we also have gift of freedom. Break away from your attachments. So with get out of your head, it feels like people talk about you trying to think more so with your head as opposed to your heart. With make better choices, some people could talk about them feeling like you need to make better choices, and this could be about someone that is currently in your life. It feels like it's referring to a specific relationship in your life. Let me see. Could be a romantic relationship. Could be any type of relationship, actually. A family relationship, friendship. But with gift of freedom, people also talk about you possibly wanting more freedom. Maybe that you don't like to feel restricted. And with easy does it, people also talk about you needing to maybe relax a bit more, take it easy on yourself, maybe take a gentle approach to some of the things in your life, maybe slow down a little bit. With recognize your spiritual authority, it feels like people also talk about you being quite authoritative in certain areas of your life or in certain environments. And people also talk about, other people respecting your authority as well. Is that it? I thought there was more cards. Okay. Do you have more? So yeah, that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it can be helpful. Makes sense. I'm wishing you guys the best, alright? Take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the second group, then this reading could be for you. What is the gossip on you? We have Ten of Pentacles upright, Eight of Cups upright, and the Fool in reverse. Okay, so what is the gossip on you? So it feels like people are talking about you being quite optimistic, or you seem a bit more optimistic lately. They talk about your life being very stable, consistent, and quite traditional. They gossip about you having a beautiful family as well, that you're feeling safe and secure, or you're just in a very safe and secure, time in your life. Maybe your environment is quite safe and secure. Maybe the people around you make you feel that way. But they also talk about you helping others feel that way, that you make other people feel quite safe, maybe the people close to you. People also talk about you wanting to create a legacy, or that you are already on your way to creating a strong legacy, for yourself, maybe for your family, any children that you might have or want to have. For some of you, people talk about you receiving an inheritance, or they feel that you've received an inheritance. But they do talk about this, inheritance of some sort helping you out. People also talk about you having long-term security from their perspective and where they're standing. For some of you, people also talk about you being quite influential, that you do have a lot of influence, positive influence as well. And people do talk about you wanting to marry a good person, someone safe, someone secure, confident, a strong leader, someone who has, similar values to you, a man with possibly good family, good friends. And but they do also talk about you kind of getting over a heartbreak, possibly feeling let down due to a past relationship or relationships. It doesn't only have to be romantic relationships though. Some people talk about you possibly feeling abandoned or still getting over a situation where you may have felt abandoned. They talk about you maybe pulling back from love and relationships, that you are trying to be, more analytical or contemplative. They also talk about you still needing to escape from something, that there's still something that you're, trying to set yourself free from. This could be a person, could be a perspective, or do you know, like when a situation, it could be, trauma as well. But it also feels like they mention that it seems like you're trying to let go of past related events, that you are trying to, again, set yourself free. Some people say that you're still needing or trying to put some of your fears behind you. Like people do gossip about you trying to attain more freedom. Like you're trying to maybe let go of something that may have been ingrained in you, again, someone else's perspective or your old beliefs and old patterns, and that you are trying to just let go of things that, aren't good for you or that's potentially holding you back. For some of you, it feels like people are talking about some of the bad decisions you made, and, the ways that you may have failed in the past. But it also feels like they're saying that they feel you will make better decisions in the future, or you're already kind of, you know, making in the process of making better decisions for yourself, in their perspective at least. Like people also gossip about you having been naive in the past. For some of you, it could be related to a past relationship. And it feels like people also talk about the ways you may have been taken advantage of. But they also mention you being wiser now, or they hope you're wiser now. They also talk about you no longer avoiding a new beginning, that maybe you're more optimistic about a new beginning. And, they could have felt that maybe you weren't really open to it, before. So people also gossip about you, just trying to do what's right, or trying to like maybe picking the safer option, like just avoiding, risk and taking any risks. And they also talk about you maybe intentionally or rightfully holding back. Maybe this could be related to, communication, maybe in conversations, maybe with what you say, who you say it to. But this could also be something you're more aware of in terms of you holding back. So we also have ask an expert. We have you are giving away your power. We have give it to God. We also have animal, embrace your wild side. And we have limitation is power, lean into your limitations. Okay, so with give it to God, excuse me, it feels like people are talking about you kind of allowing something to be taken out of your hands, But it also feels like people are talking about your faith in something higher than yourself, or you're starting to have faith in something higher than yourself, or that's something that you kind of rely on in terms of your healing or you being able to let go of something. With Embrace Your Wild Side, earlier I mentioned them people talking about you, not wanting to take risks, but it also feels like they mention that you could benefit from taking some risks, maybe stepping out of your comfort zone, maybe doing something exciting, doing something fun. With Ask an Expert, it feels like people are talking about maybe you potentially seeking out an expert, maybe relying on people who have, knowledge or expertise in a certain area. And maybe just generally being careful with who you, take information from, who you listen to, who you take advice from, that sort of thing. And with limitation is power, it feels like people discuss like the limitations you may have faced in the past, but also that you are trying to, face it. And so below it, it says lean into your limitations. So it's like you're kind of taking your limitations and trying to, push beyond it and push past it, sorry, and not letting it hold you back anymore. So it also feels like people do talk about, the times or the time where you maybe gave away your power in a situation, but they also talk about how you're, getting it back or you got it back. And that you're generally just being wiser now or trying to be wiser. And yeah, but that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful, and I'm wishing you the best. Okay, please take care. Bye. Hello, welcome. If you've chosen the third group, then this reading could be for you. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse. So what's the gossip on you? All right, so it feels like people are talking about you potentially betraying someone, or someone is talking about how they're feeling betrayed by you for whatever reason. People are talking about you being maybe cold or harsh at the moment. This may not be in general. It feels like maybe like there's a certain situation that's going on, or maybe people are talking about you not being in a good place, or people feel like they're recognizing that you're not in a good place, even if you feel like that's not true. But it feels like someone is talking about how you wanted revenge, that for some reason you want to get someone back, you know. People also talk about you possibly contradicting yourself. They're talking about how you tried very hard to avoid an end in some area of your life. Could be about a relationship, or it could be about something else in your life that you really tried to hold on to this thing so that you wouldn't lose it. And they do talk about you being, maybe quite bitter about something, but not about you being better in general. It doesn't feel like people perceive you like that in general. It's just at the moment, people just feel that maybe you aren't in a good place, that you are kind of going through some things, that certain things are difficult for you at the moment, and it is affecting, you, of course. And, people do talk about you being quite negative at the moment, not feeling hopeful in a certain situation. They also talk about you, not wanting to get over something, that you about you possibly wanting to rehash the past, that you want someone to, take accountability, um, to maybe have a certain conversation with you. Maybe you want to confront someone and you want that person to be honest. They talk about you wanting someone to admit their mistakes or their wrongdoing. People do talk about you possibly blocking your ability to see a new or different path for yourself at the moment. They kind of just feel like you're caught up in all this, negativity to the point where you can't see maybe the potential in you or in, a new situation developing. And, it feels like they are talking about someone still being quite hopeful when it comes to you, like someone being hopeful that you might change your mind about them or see them as honest or see them as telling the truth. People also talk about you having been through a very hard time. Some people gossip about you, about maybe someone not willing to or wanting to help you with something. But they do talk about you needing help and maybe someone avoiding helping you. And that you're kind of, maybe because you feel like you're not getting help or support, people are talking about you trying to figure something out on your own or needing to figure something out on your own if you're not already taking the steps to do that, in their perspective at least. People are also, talking about opinions on you being quite scattered or split. Like there could be a certain situation going on and, the people external to the situation that's like on the outside looking in, it's like they can't really make up their mind on the situation, or they can't really make up their mind on you or another person involved. So yeah, it feels like opinions on you are quite scattered at the minute. And this, I may have said this already, but people also talk about you being just quite negative now, but they also talk about it being coming out of nowhere, and that it's just this feels like a new energy, like something that they haven't really noticed before, experienced before, maybe to like a certain degree. So people also talk about you trying to recover from something. People talk about you being maybe afraid to make the wrong move, that you're trying to be a bit more cautious in what you do and what you say. People also gossip about you being very loyal to someone, but they also say you're questioning someone's loyalty to you. And, some people do talk about you being unforgiving in their perspective. They talk about you possibly not feeling loved or not feeling supported, that you could be feeling left out as well. Someone is gossiping about someone else needing to communicate better with you. So people are also talking about you possibly feeling scattered, not feeling settled, or not feeling at peace with something. It feels like some people are talking about how you are making other people feel quite fearful, that you can be mean. Again, like this could be something like recent. For some of you, some people could be saying that you're mean in general. That doesn't really feel like the case for all of you though. And people are talking about you having trouble trusting someone, and this person or maybe someone else not trusting you. It feels like some people are talking about you possibly being dependent on someone. And it feels like, people are talking about you needing to help yourself instead of maybe being dependent on another person. So this may not be for everyone, but for some of you, people are talking about a breakup you experienced. People talk about you being quite aggressive at the moment, maybe you're involved in a lot of conflicts. People also talk about you being difficult in their perspective, like not being able to harmonize with you. And it feels like people are also talking about you being critical, not having much empathy at the moment. And it does feel like someone specific is talking about you being manipulative. And this same person could be talking about you being controlling as well. This could be an acquaintance. Is this someone you're close to? It doesn't really feel like someone you're close to. Could be someone you see often, but you're not close to that person, So we also have stop obsessing. We have stuff is about to get real. We have sensitive emotions, times of heightened emotions and sensitivity call for extra self-care and gentleness. We also have computer, upgrade your mental software. And we also have speak out, communicate and resolve the conflicts. So with stop obsessing, people are talking about you possibly obsessing over something in your head a lot about something, and so people do talk about maybe a situation escalating for some of you, or they talk about you just dealing with a serious situation. So with speak out, communicate to resolve all the conflicts, people possibly talk about you speaking out is something that caused a conflict, or that you're just dealing with a few different conflicts at the moment. With sensitive emotions, there's a message about self-care, and people do talk about you needing to take care of yourself. And with computer, it feels like people are talking about you having, changed your perspective on something, or like they feel that your mindset has changed in some way. And it also feels like people are talking about you possibly researching someone. Maybe trying to find out someone's secrets or something that this person could possibly be hiding. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful and make sense, and wishing you the best. Okay, take care. Bye.